And they're off. For the QIPCO British Champions Long Distance Cup, and Maxident is ridden forward the outside of the field in the purple jacket. Kyprios is handy under Ryan Moore on the outside, the all blue of Trawlerman on the running rail, followed by Coltrane, then Broom. Trushan ridden with a bit more restraint today than last time in France, and then on the inside Sweet William, and Stratum is the early back marker as they race in front of the stands with a circuit to go. Looks a pretty decent gallop being set by Maxident, tracked in second by Trawlerman in the hands of Frankie Dettori. In third, Kyprios and Ryan Moore, Coltrane and Oisin Murphy on the outside of Broom and Dylan Brown at McMonagle. Turning right-handed now. Sweet William, Rab Havlin further back on the inside of Trushan and Holly Doyle. And lastly, it's Stratum and champion jockey William Buick. There'll be a good 15 lengths first to Lart, and Maxident is building up a lead now as they pass the 1.5 mile point from the finish. Maxident by a good 7 or 8 lengths to Trawlerman in second place. This could be a real test. Back in third place, 6 lengths away is Kyprios, followed by Coltrane, then Broom and Trushan well back at this stage. Sweet William likewise, and finally Stratum heading past the 1.25 mile point from the finish, and Maxident still remains clear. Trawlerman the only one within challenging range at the moment. Kyprios is third. A little shake of the reins there from Ryan Moore. Followed back in the field then by Coltrane on the inside. Broom. Trushan still restrained. Sweet William. And finally right out the back is Stratum, and now they're into Swinley Bottom. Swinging right-handed and on towards the final 7 furlongs. Maxident, Trawlerman about 4 or 5 lengths down in second. The others are well back. Kyprios in third place as they now begin the climb back towards the home straight inside the 7. After Kyprios is Coltrane, followed by Broom, then Trushan, Sweet William and Stratum. So racing uphill, looks like Trawlerman could be left in front here as Maxident begins to just weaken a little bit in front on their way towards the final 6 furlongs. Trawlerman right on the shoulder now of Maxident, and they're a good 12 lengths clear, passing the 5, and Frankie strikes the front on Trawlerman. It's Trawlerman that goes on. Maxident beginning to feel it now. What have the others got left in the locker, and how can Trawlerman keep up the gallop? It's been a fierce clip all the way. Trawlerman leading, nursed along into the lead. They're closing. Kyprios now closing very quickly indeed. Going to challenge the leader, and Kyprios going up on the outside of Trawlerman. And here comes Trushan into third place under Holly Doyle. They turn for home, and it's Kyprios that now pokes his nose in front from Trawlerman. Trushan's got 3 or 4 lengths to make up, and making heavy weather of it is Kyprios that goes on from Trawlerman. Then Trushan, Sweet William and Coltrane running up the hill towards the final furlong and a half. Kyprios, Trawlerman is trying to fight back. Maybe Kyprios is getting a bit tired. Trawlerman is rallying very gamely on the near side and rejoins Kyprios. They race up towards the line. A grueling, bitter struggle, and Trawlerman goes on again under Frankie, and Trawlerman will just win from Kyprios. Sweet William back in third.
Trushan, fourth this year. The outcome to our first race is first.
And they're off for this QIPCO British Champions Sprint Stakes. Art Power blasting away from the stalls on the far side, swinging along, showing speed down the centre, tracked by Magical Sunset, Run to Freedom. And also handy is behind these. Kinross is in about the midfield, just chasing the leading bunch, with Run to Freedom just in touch with Vadream in the front 4 of the centre field group. Then Believing. And they are followed further back by Sense of Duty, then Spycatcher. On the extreme right, Makarova, perhaps pulling a little hard. Back in the field, St. Lawrence. Rohan is covered up. The dark blue cap on the left of the main group is Mill's Stream. And then towards the back, Ocean Quest and Sondream will have to pass them all. Art Power running a solo on the far side. Right down the near side on the right is Swing Along. In the centre, Vadream from Believing. Kinross is being asked 1 or 2 questions now by Frankie. Then Run to Freedom and Sense of Duty. And then running on the far side is Millstream, and Rohan making ground as well, running down to the final furlong. Swing Along on the near side. Kinross is now responding in the centre. His stamina coming into play. He gets to Art Power on the near side. Swing Along, and then Spycatcher, and Kinross finishing off really well. Art Power is fighting back and has done him. Art Power. Art Power gets back up to win.
So Kinross denied this year, followed home by Spycatcher in third, and Swing Along, Makarova and Run to Freedom.
And they're off. And Red Riding Hood was quite sharply away with above the curve towards the inside. Time Lock next to the fence in the pink jacket. One for Bobby is handy with Running Lion and Poptronic on the outside. They're followed by Jackie O in a pink jacket from Free Wind Frankie on the inside of Blue Stocking and a green cap. Further back is Term of Endearment with Rue Boissonade, and then Stay Alert and Sweet Memories at the rear of the field, perhaps racing a little unevenly as they race on down towards the bottom part of the course. And it's Poptronic that leads the way to above the curve. Red Riding Hood on the inside in the purple and white jacket. Sea of Roses is out wide in red and white. They're tracked in the green by Running Lion. Pink cap on the inside, Time Lock. Then Jackie O, pink wide of One for Bobby and Free Wind. Rue Boissonade and Blue Stocking together from Term of Endearment. As they race now around this right-hander, and Stay Alert and Sweet Memories remain the last two. Meeting the rising ground and on towards the final 6.5 furlongs, and Poptronic and Sam James by a length and a half to Red Riding Hood on the inside of above the curve. Sea of Roses handy, so too Running Lion, and also on the inside Time Lock. Then Jackie O just towards the outside, pink jacket, blue cap Ryan Moore, followed by Blue Stocking and Rue Boissonade, who's out a little wider. Term Endearment towards the inside from One for Bobby, and towards the rear still Sweet Memories and also Stay Alert as they head towards the final turn and racing uphill past the 4 furlong marker. Poptronic from above the curve, about a length between them. Then on the inside, Red Riding Hood from Sea of Roses, Running Lion. Time Lock's gone right round the inside under William Buick. Outside Time Lock is Jackie O, Rue Boissonade and Blue Stocking, and then Free Wind some way back at the moment from behind these. One for Bobby as they swing the corner. Poptronic is now flat out from above the curve. They've gone pretty hard trying to angle out his Red Riding Hood on the inside. Running Lion, Sea of Roses. Here comes Jackie O burning down the outside. Blue Stocking stays on as well as they race on to the final furlong. Time Lock on the far side. They've still got to get to Poptronic. Poptronic by a couple of lengths. Jackie O and Blue Stocking, they're the ones finishing off best from above the curve inside the final furlong. Poptronic is flat out, all out, but closing quickly. Jackie O and Blue Stocking. Poptronic held them all. Poptronic held on, made it all.
On the near side, Blue Stocking and Jackie O.
And they're off. And breaking out well was Big Rock, off on a front run, and High Royal, also a prominent racer, going with Big Rock in second place. Facteur Cheval is close up in third. Paddington is very handy. Then Angel Blur, Chaldean towards the near side in the noseband pink cap there, followed by Nashwa on the far side. Rogue Millennium in red and white. Further back is Epictetus, Tahira, the filly on the near side in the noseband green jacket as they race through the first 2.5 furlongs and check and challenge at the rear of the field. Big Rock going off really hard here, leads by 2.5 to 3 lengths to High Royal in second, and this is going to be a proper test up the hill. Moving up into third, Chaldean on the outside of Paddington, and then Angel Blur. Tahira further back from Facteur Cheval, and then behind these Rogue Millennium as they race on, and at the back still check and challenge. Nashwa being pushed along, and Epictetus. Big Rock is clear. Big Rock and Aurelian Lemaitre by 5 or 6 lengths, chased by Chaldean. High Royal behind these. Tahira is going okay. Green jacket, then Paddington nudged along. Behind these is Angel Blur and check and challenge. Nashwa with lots to do. Big Rock is going further clear as they run towards the final 2 furlongs. He must be 8 lengths clear now. The filly Tahira is sent into hot pursuit by Chris Hayes. Can Big Rock keep going? He's galloping on well up the hill. A furlong and a half left to last. Tahira second. Facteur Cheval running on to third. Then check and challenge. Big Rock still leads, passing the furlong pole. It's 8 lengths to Tahira. Facteur Cheval might challenge for second. Big Rock up towards the line. A devastating display of front running in the Queen Elizabeth for second stakes. What a win! Fantastic from Big Rock. Facteur Cheval might have grabbed second.
Tahira that side, then check and challenge, and Rogue Millennium.
It's the Kipco Champion Stakes. They're off. Via Sestina gave a little jump leaving the stalls, but it's going to be dropped in from a wide draw. Baybridge going forward with Royal Rhyme, and then Point Lonsdale, who's cajoled along on the inside, and My Prospero coming through strongly in the blinkers for the first time. So quite a bit of competition for the early lead. Point Lonsdale round the inside of My Prospero, Royal Rhyme, and then 2 or 3 lengths to Baybridge, and they're followed by Horizon d'Or, who's a rather keen, the French challenger on the outside of Dubai Honor, Via Sestina, and Frankie's at the back on King of Steel. Heading right-handed at Swinley Bottom, and My Prospero just to the outside of Point Lonsdale. My Prospero leading under Tom Marquand. Point Lonsdale second. Royal Rhyme is third. Then Baybridge close up in fourth on the outside of Dubai Honor. Horizon d'Or has settled a bit better now behind these, followed by King of Steel. And they head up the hill towards the final 5 furlongs. Via Sestina still towards the back with King of Steel. And maybe the pace just slowing down a little bit, sensibly so perhaps. My Prospero by a half length to Royal Rhyme. Point Lonsdale. Baybridge in a good position to try and double up from last year. Then Dubai Honor. Horizon d'Or. Via Sestina's on the outside in the pink sleeves. King of Steel and Frankie Dettori at the back of the field as they race on now towards the final 3 furlongs on the home turn. And it's My Prospero by a length to Royal Rhyme. Baybridge going up into third on the outside of Point Lonsdale. Then Horizon d'Or. Via Sestina is circling the field from Dubai Honor, and King of Steel now being pushed along down the run towards the finish, and Royal Rhyme looming up on the outside of My Prospero. Here comes Horizon d'Or with Via Sestina. Baybridge flattening out. Point Lonsdale. King of Steel is staying on from the back. Still got a bit to find though, and it's Via Sestina, the mare, who comes through to lead from Horizon d'Or. King of Steel is trying to reach them inside the final furlong. Via Sestina. Here comes King of Steel under Frankie Dettori on the near side. Via Sestina by a half length. Is a neck, is a head, and King of Steel, he gets up to win. He wins the champion, and they're off. And a slightly awkward jump from Awal. One from the stand side, orange jacket, black sleeves, but likely to be played fairly late. Moving forward on the near side is Al Mubir with Dancing Magic. On the far side, the Gatekeeper. Vetiver over there as well, with Dual Identity and Radobarg in the firing line over on the far side. Also prominent is Cur d'Or and Helm Rock, followed by Latam and Dockland over on the far side. Further back then is Baradar, and then towards the rear of that group, Ross Colin. Migration is held up towards the far side as well, just behind Beneteau. Meanwhile, down the near side, it's Al Mubir that leads to Aileen Dove and Awal, and Blue for You at the back of the quartet towards the near side. Running down the centre, a little bit of a solo, is Dancing Magic. On the far side, the Gatekeeper. Ropey Guess now very close. Vetiver and Cur d'Or. They are followed then by Radobarg and Dual Identity and Helm Rock and Docklands. And then Bo Pedro, who's being pushed along. And behind these is Beneteau. On the far side is Baradar, who's in about 10th or 11th in that group from Ross Colin and Latam, as they run on now towards the final quarter mile. And over on the far side, the Gatekeeper is challenged by Ropey Guess. Vetiver chasing hard on the far side with Cur d'Or. And behind them now is Radobarg, and also finishing well is Docklands over there under Hayley Turner. Meanwhile, Albu Hibbeer has burst clear down the centre, chased by Awal, but it's the Gatekeeper on the far side. It's been a good day for front runners. The Gatekeeper leads the way to Ropey Guess and Docklands as they race up towards the line. The Gatekeeper is hanging tough. The Gatekeeper is going to do enough and wins the Balmoral. Ropey Guess second, Docklands third. On the near side, Ropey Guess running on. Fourth row,